So first of all, welcome everyone to our very first Give STL Day training for 2024. Today's topic is getting started. Today, our wonderful project manager, Grace Draper from Mightycause, is going to go over getting started with registration and set up on our new Give STL Day platform. Grace is a senior Giving Day program manager for Mightycause with a background in corporate fundraising and event planning, and she lives in Richmond, Virginia. Grace, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. And welcome everyone to your first Mightycause webinar. We are so excited to have Give STL Day working with us and to partner with Emily and the St. Louis Community Foundation. So I want to give a shout out to Emily before we get started for all of her hard work to design this site and help migrate all of your information over so that we could have a seamless transition from the old platform. So we'll get into it and talk about how to get registered this year. So our agenda today, just to kind of give you an overview of what we're going to go through, we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of Give STL Day, how to register. We're going to review the to-do list, which is a new step in registration, but is going to make things a lot easier for you in the long run. And then we will do a platform refresher is what we call it. For you all, this will all be new. So we're going to do an overview of your dashboard and kind of where everything is going to live there. So the basics of the Giving Day, a lot of this is probably the same as in the past, but still presented by the St. Louis Community Foundation. It's a 24-hour day on May 9th, and registration will close on May 2nd, so you have a little bit of time to get registered, but the earlier the better, especially being a new platform and unfamiliar with all of these different settings. It's great to get started early. I will recommend the registration button is live. If you have two screens, you can pull that up while we are going through this webinar and sort of follow along. That way, if you have any questions as you get started, we can answer those live in the chat or on the webinar. I just want to give a shout out to the St. Louis Community Foundation and Give STL Day. Y'all have resulted in $30 million in community support since 2014, which is a huge accomplishment. So we are excited to be a part of that continued impact and to see what can be done this year. For nonprofits, in order to participate, you must be a 501c3 in good standing with the IRS, and you must serve residents of the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. You'll see those areas defined on the screen. I'm not going to read them off for you. I think we mentioned in the chat, this presentation will be shared following the webinar, so all of this is going to be sent to you in a PDF, so you'll have those for reference. This information is also on the registration page, so don't worry, this isn't the only time you'll see it. And then you must register to participate in Give STL Day. Again, the deadline is Wednesday, May 2nd at midnight. Late registrations will not be accepted. The event is on May 9th, so we need time to get everything set up in that week between the two. So we need you to register by May 2nd. It's very important to do so. So a little bit about how to register. So as I mentioned, if you want to pull this up while we're going through how to register and follow along on your own separate screen, as long as you can see both, that might be helpful for those who are new. So step one, you will want to log into the Give STL Day platform. So if you are a returning or a new person to Give STL Day, you will all visit www.givestlday.org. and click login at the top of the screen. When you click login at the top of the screen, you'll see a one. It kind of goes, right to left here. You'll log into the platform. If you were a prior participant, your email is already associated with the organization that you managed. So you'll use that email and just click Forgot Password in order to reset your password and get access to your account. If you are new or taking over for someone who previously covered Give STL Day at your organization, you will just click login and create an account with Mightycause to get started. So once you're logged in, step two is to register. In order to get to the registration screen, we have the big arrow right here on For Nonprofits. In that dropdown, you'll find the word register. If you click on that, it will take you to the registration screen. So log in first, register second. Once you reach the registration screen, you will see this little registration module form. Again, the eligibility information is placed above this, so you'll be able to review that as well before you begin registering. But once you reach this part of the registration screen, if you're a returning user and you've logged in using the same email as before, your organization will show up under that select from your organization's list. So you are, during the migration, already associated with the organization that you are managing. If for some reason it's not there, that's totally okay. If you are a new user or not an admin of your organization, you will just search your organization by the EIN number. The reason we do EIN numbers is that Mightycause is a large database of all of the IRS organizations in the country. So we want to make sure that you are registering your exact organization, and the best unique identifier of that is the EIN number. So once you've typed in your EIN number, you can click on that organization name and then click Select to continue. If for some reason you cannot find your organization by EIN, or if you are fiscally sponsored by another organization, you will just click Create It Now here where that red arrow is showing at the bottom of the screen. And that's where you can submit a request form to our support team to have your organization created or to begin the fiscally sponsored organization process. The other thing you can do is email support@mightycause.com for assistance at any point during this registration process. Our support@mightycause.com email is your best friend if you have any technical assistance needed. We have a great team on the other side. They are answering emails, 9 to 5 Eastern time. And usually we can get you a response within 1 to 2 days. So definitely note that email down. It is listed on the website as well. And on every screen, there's a little question mark icon at the bottom that you can click that will also connect you to support. So before we keep going, I'm going to stop and see if there were any questions so far about the registration in our chat or our Q&A.
Nothing yet, but if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in.
Okay, sounds good. So we will move on to part 2 of registration is the to-do list. So when you are logged in to your account, you will see a to-do list, and we'll go over the navigating dashboard part in just a minute, but I want to make sure we touch on the to-do list first because this is part 2 of registration essentially. So once you've filled out the registration form, there's also a to-do list of items to finish on your organization profile in order to be considered fully registered. So this just ensures that donors have information on your profile when they visit the page in order to make the donor experience a lot better. So on the to-do list, we require that a logo is uploaded, that you have information in your About section, and then we recommend both a banner image and a thank you page. We are also asking for the mission statement and the website as well. So when we get to your to-do list, you'll see that you can view a quick view in the to-do list icon up here once you're logged in. And then you can also open the detailed to-do list, and then it'll show you the full list. So what is involved in completing your organization page. A hint that we want to share is that if you click on a to-do list item, it will take you exactly where you need to go to update that item. So we try to make it as easy for everyone as possible. The other good news is if you were part of the Give STL Day migration, participating in the past, your information will be pre-populated in some ways. So ideally, you'll only have to do a few to-do list items. But definitely go review all of your information to make sure that it is the most up-to-date because we brought everything over from the prior platform. Depending when you last updated it, you may want to add additional information. One thing to note is that when you are filling out the About section, it is required that you have at least 50 words in that section to be considered completed. So if you're working on the About section and the little blue checkbox isn't appearing yet, just double check your word count or add a few more sentences and you should be okay.
Grace, we did have one question come through asking, should I use my name for the registration first and last, or should I break up the organization name?
That's a great question. It's best if you use your first and last name because our support team, when you send that email, will also, if you send it like through the question mark I mentioned in the bottom screen, it'll provide your information to them so they know who they're working with and they can easily access your stuff.
And then could you repeat one more time where to go to find the to-do list?
Yes, I actually haven't talked about where to find it yet, so you didn't miss anything. We are about to do the walkthrough where I'll show you exactly where to access that to-do list. Do we have any other questions before we keep going?
Oh, yes, sorry, I need to scroll down a
Mhm.
little bit. What is the recommended maximum word count for the about section?
We don't have a recommended maximum. I would say maybe 250 words or so. Basically this profile, and you'll see it in just a minute, it serves as like a mini website to your website. So you don't want to bring over all of your website copy, but just a brief summary of your impact, and some information about your organization will usually do the job. So yeah, you don't have to put a ton of information in there. And be mindful of the fact that a lot of donors do visit on mobile, so a lot of text is going to make it kind of overwhelming for them.
Not
Okay.
seeing any others for the moment.
Awesome. So we'll get into the platform walkthrough. So in order to access your dashboard, first of all, you must be logged in. You will always need to be logged in to see these options at givestlday.org. So make sure that you bookmark this givestlday.org website. So you can click right there and always log in the upper right-hand corner, as we talked about. In order to access a dashboard, you must also be an approved admin. So as we noted, a lot of the admins were brought over with the migration, so you should already have access. However, we did mention also that if you register and create an admin claim during your registration process, or you're creating a new organization, you will have to wait until you have the admin access to see these options. Again, if you are not seeing these options and you are not sure if that is correct or not, you can always contact support@mightycause.com. So the first thing you'll do to access your dashboard is click on your name in the upper right corner of the screen, and then your organization will be in your drop-down menu under organization. If you have multiple organizations that you manage, you'll see those just listed out in a short list. Additionally, you'll also see your account options here. So this is where you can update your account settings. You can view your own donation history, and you can also look at all of your managed causes in one place if you have lots of managed causes for some reason. So once you've clicked on your organization in that dropdown, you'll arrive to your organization dashboard. So we have the overview page, which is where you can view your registration status. There will be announcements there from Emily, and you can also access your to-do list. So again, once you're logged in, I know one of the questions was, where is your to-do list? You will see it on every single page in your dashboard, in this top section right here. It has a red dot next to it if you have not completed the to-do list. So that'll notify you that you need to take action there. But when you are navigating your dashboard, that to-do list will always live in that top left-hand corner next to the dashboard menu. Other dashboard menu options you have are organization page, fundraising, reports, the checkout, and other settings. So these are all things we'll go into depth a little more in the next slides, but basically the organization page list is where you will customize your profile. With the fundraising section, you can manage all of your fundraising tools. Your peer-to-peer campaigns will live there, those kinds of things. There's a reports section where you can access donation data. The checkout section is where you can customize the donation flow. And then the settings is where you can, once you're an admin, add other admins from your organization and adjust your basic organization settings. So definitely note the settings. If you are a part of a team, you will want to add your team as admins once you have access to your dashboard. That's also where you can view other admins to see who else has access, and you can add and remove as needed. So to dive a little bit deeper on the customizing of your profile, this page will be the main link that you share with supporters. So when you're viewing your profile, that link in the top in the URL bar will be the link that you share. This is where you can customize the look and feel and tell a story in that about section about your impact, kind of make your case for giving to your donors, those kinds of things. I've put some helpful arrows on this slide just to point out when you are in edit mode on your organization profile, you'll see little icons pop up everywhere that you can edit something. So our system tries to make it very friendly, where you'll be able to see exactly what you can update or add or edit throughout the page. So your banner image is one of the to-do list items. If you'd like to update it, you'll see the little image icon overlay on the banner here. On your logo, you'll see the pencil icon in the top right corner of your logo. That's where you can make updates. The logos on our profile are a square image. So if your logo is a different size, you can usually use Canva to create just an Instagram square image to make your logo into a square. Again, if you were migrated in, you will already see your logo sitting there. So hopefully it's the most up to date and you won't have to take any action. To update your display name here, you can always click the pencil icon. This is just your display name, so this won't change any of your legal information. It just helps your donors find you more easily if you're known by another name or you go by your acronym, something like that. You can add a goal by clicking plus goal. So it'll default to having no goal on the page, but you can add that section if you'd like to communicate a goal to your donor. And then your about section editing tools are in a bar right here above the text. I always show everyone there is a save button here. So once you've been updating your about section, make sure you click save to save all of your changes because it's a little bit in the bar. So I want to point that out. Something else I want to note about the about section is that you don't want to crowd it with a lot of images. That's where you'll want to use this media gallery over here. So you can click plus media gallery and start inserting a gallery of images, or you can do as the Community Foundation did and connect your Instagram to add images. But a lot of images in the about section can kind of crowd that up and make it difficult for donors on mobile experience. So we recommend just putting maybe 2 images in that about section at the most, depending on how much content you have.
We've got a couple
Sure.
questions that have come in about registration and profile customization. So when registering, is there a way to see our responses from previous years? There is not. The registration
No.
form has actually been completely redone and it is a lot shorter. Now in fact, it's mostly check boxes as opposed to previous years where it was a lot of fill in the blanks. Unfortunately, that information is not something that was able to be migrated over. But hopefully it's things that you already have written for your organization. And then we also had, if you do not have a banner, are you allowed to submit your logo?
So for the banner image, that is totally fine. You can make your logo this image. The good news is, and this is a change from the prior platform from my understanding, you don't have to submit anything to us. You can go right into your dashboard profile and click this photo icon here. And when you click it, it'll open up the image uploader. So you can change that banner image directly on your page and make it whatever you'd like it to be.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We did previously in the registration form have a question where it was upload your logo. That's not in the registration form anymore. It's all part of the profile editor. Stacy is asking, does the goal need to be both dollars and number of donors, or can you choose one or the other?
You are able to choose one or the other. So you can, when you add your goal, you will see different settings for the goal itself. And then this pencil icon here is next to the dollars and donors, and you'll be able to check boxes to select, do we want to show dollars, donors, or with both checked, you'll have both.
Great. One more question coming through. Sarah asks, I had previously managed 2 501c3s under one login. Am I still able to do that in the new system? The answer is yes, but I'll let Grace elaborate.
Oh. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I know I'll just go back 1 slide or 2 slides. We mentioned here in the drop down. So if you manage 2 organizations, you will see both under your organization list here. And then you'll need to submit 1 form for each organization in order to have each one registered. And when you do that, it will submit the admin claim for you since you submitted the form, or if you were migrated over, you may already have access to both since we brought admins over.
Great, thank you. One more question. Is there a recommended size for the banner image? So that is 1920 by 640 pixels. That's a 3:1 aspect ratio, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat to the Mightycause support article that has that information on it so that you don't have to try and remember that. So if you go to that URL and search banner image, you'll be able to find the recommended size.
I'm so glad you had that pulled up, Emily. You are amazing.
I didn't expect you to know that off the top of your head.
I don't, but yeah, the support article is a great spot. And that also will link you. You'll be able to access our whole support forum via that article just by clicking through the other links. So definitely take advantage of that support article section to find other information.
Yeah, and I just want to interject here. Anybody who's been with us previous years, we do know that, of course, our last platform provider also had a support library. Mightycause's support library is exceptional. anything that I have had a question on while we've been building out the Give STL website for you, I've been able to find a support article on it. They're thorough. Every single one has screenshots in it so that you know that you're in exactly the right place. Pretty much any question you have, there's a support article on that. So that's been a great place for me to explore. And I would definitely recommend everybody spend some time taking a look through there.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. So we'll move forward. If any questions pop up as we keep going, again, feel free to put them in the chat and we can always come back to this slide. The next most important thing probably to everyone is how to access your donation report. So the next item down in that dashboard menu you'll see is your donation reports. This is where you can access all of your donor data in real time. So as gifts are coming in on Give STL Day, they will start showing up here as they are given. You will notice there is a time period filter here. The time period filter always defaults to the last 30 days. So you can click and drop down and use the custom dates there to view last year's donations or other previous years. I believe we migrated in at least 3 years of data, donor data for you all. Emily, I don't know if you have a correction.
It's 7 years. So you'll be able to see data from 2017 on.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So yeah, you'll have 7 years of donation data to look back on. Again, it'll default to the previous 30 days, but you can always use that time period filter to adjust that. You will, just want to note, you will as an admin receive email notifications when a donation is made. This can be overwhelming on Give STL Day depending on your donation volume. So you can always update this in your account settings in that same drop-down menu I just showed of how to access your organization and other account settings. Something useful that you can do with this report until Give STL Day is to use the download to create a contact list if you're going to reach out to past donors. Obviously, no new donations will be coming in yet, but you can always access the old contact info to get your donors excited about Give STL Day and encourage them to give on May 9th. Something else that you can do in your organization dashboard is visit the checkout section. So we have a screenshot here that shows the checkout section has a few different options within it. The first one is the donation form. And this is where you can update your donation form suggested amounts for your donors. So those pencil icons on each amount are where you can click and this little box will pop up. And then you can add your suggested dollar amount and you can even put a description there. So there is a 60 character count or word count for the description. I think it's a character count. So this needs to be very short, but what you will do is suggest, say, $100, and then you can say, if you're an animal organization, this will provide neuter space services to 2 animals or something like that. So adding that description just helps your donors understand better the impact of their donation.
I just want to interject here that this is one of my favorite tools because I think it really helps with the experience of giving a gift online. It makes things more tangible. Like, oh, sure, I might arbitrarily pick $25, but if I know that $30 helps, fill 3 backpacks for a child to have all their school supplies, maybe I'll go for that instead. One thing that I see some organizations do here is just saying like gold, silver, bronze, or leader, supporter, friend. Those are nice descriptor words, but they don't really tell the donor anything like about what that means. Like, okay, I could be a gold supporter for $1,000 or a silver supporter for $150. What does that mean? Versus, well, $1,000 feeds a horse for 6 months, $750 feeds a pig for 6 months. It's just it's a great way to give them a little tidbit about your organization that might make them think differently about the amount that they're donating to you and hopefully help them donate more.
Yep. And then there are, as far as the options, you can have up to 6 suggested donation amounts. Best practice is usually 4, but you can always have 6 if there are 6 different impact levels that you have within your donation, like Emily mentioned, that are all significant and important to your donor base. So just please note that you can have only 6 in that section. And then this also gives you a little bit of a preview. This is scrollable when you're visiting this screen. You'll see a preview of the donation form. So I do want to note that donors can decide if they would like to hide the amount from the public hide their name from the public, or be fully anonymous when they donate. So they can check these boxes for different anonymity levels within the platform.
And Grace, just to clarify, donate anonymously means that it's coming through completely anonymously to the nonprofit as well, right?
Correct, yes. So when they hide their name or the amount, you still receive that info as the nonprofit. When they donate anonymously, they are choosing to not share any of their information with you as the nonprofit. That is correct. Something else that you can do in that checkout section. So we mentioned there's a few options. The next one down is the thank you page. This is one of the recommended items on the to-do list, so definitely something to pay attention to. This is essentially the landing page that your donors will get to once they click submit donation. So when they do that, they land here and you can have a message about thank you for donating. This example here actually has a YouTube video embedded in it. You can have an image in there. You can just have a message in your logo. It's really up to you. But this is the same editor as the About section, so you have all of those same formatting capabilities here. So this thank you page can be as robust or as simple as you would like. Again, please note the save button here in the editor. These two editors, About and the thank you page, have that save button that is very important to click before you leave the page. And then something else you can do on the thank you page is customize this call to action button. So you'll see the little blue pencil icon on top of it. You can choose what will the button say and where will it take the donor. So a lot of the times we recommend sending them to a newsletter sign up or some secondary action that your organization would like the donor to do. If you don't have a newsletter sign up or anything you want them to do, you can also just link them back to your profile page and have them, donate again, could be the button. So there are a couple options there. And now we're at the final Q&A. So all questions at this time, anything goes. Emily, are there
Yes, we've
questions?
had
Okay.
several come in. So I'm going to go back a little bit on a few that came in on the actual Q&A tool. Just want to remind everybody that a copy of these slides will be available to you. That's going to be linked on the trainings page at givestlday.org. We're also going to link the recording there, so you'll be able to access everything. Laura asked how they should know who the admin on their organizational profile is. And I feel like there's a couple different ways that you can figure that out. So would you want to speak to that, Grace?
Yeah, the best way, and it's not in, it's in this screenshot. The best way is to visit this settings section in your dashboard, which we didn't do screenshots of because it's not super in depth. But if you click settings, there's an admin's dashboard and you'll be able to see all of the other admins on your organization page. And you as an admin can actually add and remove people. So if you see someone who's left since last Give STL Day, you can take them off. Or if you need to add someone, you can add somebody using that settings and admins dashboard.
Thank you. So let's go back to, we've had a couple people put in the chat and also DM me asking if their organization is eligible because they're based here in the greater St. Louis metropolitan region, but their services are elsewhere. Looks like a humanitarian organization in Asia, and then another one that does educational experiences in South America, which is awesome. So the phrase is that a significant portion of programs or services need to take place in the greater St. Louis metropolitan region. That being said, we want as many organizations as possible to be able to participate. So our team would be happy to take a very close look at your organization and really look at that by hand, basically, as opposed to just saying yes or no. So if you could email info@stlgives.org. That's something that I will take care of, not the Mightycause team, because I'll actually go in and basically learn all about your organization to see if you are eligible based on those programs and services. So that's info@stlgives.org, and I'll put that in the chat. There it is. Okay, so Jeff is asking, does 100% of the donation amount transfer to the nonprofit? Do you mind taking that one, Grace, while I look through the chat?
Sure. So we don't have a screenshot on it here. On the donation page, when a donor goes to donate, right above that submit donation, they will be able to check a box to cover the fees or not. So there are fees obviously associated with Give STL Day, similar to the previous years. We are still finalizing the fees as far as the credit cards and the overall, so that will be shared as soon as we have it. But the donor can cover the fees. In that case, the full donation goes to the nonprofit. If the donor does not choose to cover the fee, then a platform fee will be pulled out as well as the credit card fees.
And I just want to clarify that the credit card fee is something assessed by the credit card company. The platform fee is assessed by Mightycause. The St. Louis Community Foundation does not assess a fee. We do not keep any portion of the gift made to your organization.
Correct.
Here's a good suggestion from Valerie on the donate anonymously option. You might consider adding name and contact information is withheld from the organization so that donors know that. I feel like that's definitely something we could look into. I love that recommendation.
That is a great suggestion. I'm going to
Thank you,
screenshot that so we can share it with our team.
Yeah.
Thanks, Valerie.
And I will say I have been bombarding Grace with suggestions as I've been building out the Give STL Day site, and many of the things I've asked for have already been implemented. Like just yesterday, I was like, yay, we can click and drag accordion menus now. Thank you. And that wasn't something that we could do 5 weeks ago. So they've been incredibly responsive and wonderful.
Thanks, Emily.
Here's an interesting question. If an organization has another donor software or CRM, can the two systems be linked for purposes of getting all info into the donor's system?
The short answer is no. However, with the, sorry to click through so fast, with the donations report, you will see there's a download option. So this will download a CSV of the donor information. And a lot of times with a few tweaks on the column titles, you can actually upload that CSV into your donor CRM and at least record the donations on that side. However, no, the systems will not talk to each other, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you for the explanation. It doesn't even talk to the Community Foundation's software, so we're in the same boat as you all, but we have had a lot of success with the reports that we're able to run, getting that information imported pretty smoothly. One question about what are the total fees? We are still working that out. Grace and I just had a riveting conversation a couple days ago about credit card fees. We are working to make those absolutely as low as possible. There are a lot of options out there. I know more than I ever thought I would know about interchange plus rates. So we're still working to finalize those, and we'll have the final word on fees as soon as possible. Question, are we allowed to hold a free event in connection with Give STL Day, such as a bike ride or walk run? Absolutely. Sounds like fun. If you do a 5K, I'll be there. Looks like the questions are slowing down, but if anybody else has more in the chat, please feel free. Grace, is there a way that we can open it up to letting people talk if they want to, if that's easier for their question? I know you have this set up as a webinar.
I would say I set it up. I set this up as a webinar so we could have all the Q&A features and the recording automatic and everything. So we cannot open it up, but definitely put things in the chat.
All good. And if you feel that your question is simply too complicated to type out, no worries. Mightycause support would be happy to help you, or you can call the Community Foundation's office. I'll go ahead and drop my direct line in the chat. Disclaimer, I might have to say, let me talk to support and get back to you, but I'm happy to do that. Yes, Joel, the link to the recording will not be emailed out. We got a lot of feedback in years past that we were sending too many emails. So that link is going to be posted to the trainings page of the Give STL Day website, and the recording will be on the Foundation's YouTube channel in perpetuity until YouTube is no longer. Here we go. Will there still be power hours this year? Short answer, still figuring that out. Most likely, yes. We're going to have a training specifically on our prize schedule on April 11th. The link to register for that is on the trainings page at givestlday.org. We'd love to have you. I'm building out the prize schedule as we speak to try and make sure that we're giving as many exciting and fun options as possible to you this year. Question here of sponsoring campaigns as part of Give STL Day. I'm not sure if that means peer-to-peer fundraisers, or if it's something else to do with a sponsorship opportunity you've arranged for your organization, we are having a training on the fundraising features for Mightycause on March 21st. Look at this. We've got all of them. Where Grace is actually going to join us again to go over all of those features in detail. It's very similar to previous years. It's just a much better user experience for the fundraising features on Mightycause, in my opinion. So again, March 21st at 9 a.m. and the link to register for that is, of course, on the trainings page. I want to give people time to type.
Okay. I do want to add something, then if we don't have any immediate other questions to what you just
Thanks.
said, as far as the fundraising training, definitely join that one and see the live walkthrough. If you're feeling brave, you can always go in the support articles and find the training articles on the setting up peer-to-peer fundraisers, the fundraising pages. So that is available if you want to get a head start and try and set up a few campaigns. But yeah, we'll be doing it live March 21st.
Great. Ooh, interesting question here. If we were to provide water and things at the run walk, would that be breaking any rules? You are talking about gift premiums, which water is definitely not a gift premium. Like, please give your people water. So for anybody who is new to Give STL Day, in previous years, the foundation generally said that you're not able to offer a gift premium in exchange for a donation. So for example, you couldn't say, donate $250 and we'll send you a branded water bottle. Or donate $5 and we'll mail you a sticker. However, now what you should do is visit the IRS website and review their guidelines on token items. Again, that's token items. There's a lot of regulations on the value of that token item as a percent of the gift made. That's not something the Community Foundation is going to handle. We won't help you distribute token items, but go to the IRS, and if that's something you want to do, just follow those guidelines and go for it, basically. This is no longer something that we are discouraging, but you need to follow those guidelines, and it will be completely up to your organization to do that. Sorry, that sounds very severe, but whenever I'm like Googling or looking up stuff on the IRS database, I'm always like, oh, this is very official. You're welcome. I am not seeing any more questions. Oh, here's another one. I think I remember there being a live bar chart tracking process to goal on Give STL Day. Could you go to where they can view that on there? There it is. Could we go over that progress bar one more time?
Sure. So yeah, on your organization page, you'll have this goal bar. Give STL Day as a whole is going to have a different metrics tracker on the main page that will track all donations made on the site. But this is where you can track donations made on your organization profile page. So you'll just click plus goal and that'll open up the goal bar. So you'll be able to see what it looks like. And then you can adjust the goal. It'll open up with a pencil icon, as well as we mentioned the pencil icon here to show if you're displaying dollars raised, donors raised, or both. So click plus goal, and it really is pretty user-friendly from there.
I also want to point out, and I know that this was in a number of the support articles, if you do decide to add that goal bar, whenever you click into that, you have the option to set when you want the calculation to start. So I would recommend setting that just for ease as April 1st of 2024. So then as donations start to come in for Give STL Day during early giving, that's all going to populate and it won't be looking back at previous years of data. Yes, it updates as a graphic. If you set a goal, it's kind of like like a slider to complete that's colored in. And if you don't set a goal, it just says dollars raised by however many donors, or if you've only chosen donors, it'll say however many donors. What I love about this editor through Mightycause is that what you see in the editor is exactly what you get on the website. And it's really easy to toggle from edit mode to view mode so that when you're going through and making changes, switch to view mode, you can see exactly what a donor who visits your profile is going to see. Make sure that you're happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And that means when you are in the not in edit mode, these little plus icons will disappear. So donors are not going to see that you chose not to show your goal or not to show media gallery. It'll just compress up and look like a normal page.
Yeah, so any sections that you choose not to fill out in the view mode, they just disappear. So it's not like there's a weird gap or a blank space. Right. Stacy, no worries. You couldn't have used it before because this is our first year on Mightycause.
Yep. And then a good thing with the metrics, I know Emily mentioned setting it to April 1st. We will also press a big button leading up to April 1st that will set everyone's metrics to April 1st. So you don't have to manually do that, but if you'd like to, you can go ahead and do that.
For example, when I was setting up the Community Foundation's profile, it defaulted to all time. So it was pulling all the donations and all the donors we had received since 2017, since that's the first year that data was imported from. So I went ahead and reset it to April 1st, but thank you, Grace. I forgot about the big master buttons that you have.
Love the big buttons in the background. Yep.
So Dawn asks, when viewing your donations, will that reflect the amount minus the fees?
Yes. So in the donation report, you will see the net online versus the online. So the net online will be where you see less the fees, and then you can see the total online here.
And which of those feeds into that progress bar on the profile?
That is a great question, actually. I can find out. I believe it is the total amount before fees are removed.
We will check on that.
Yeah,
and Dawn, if you want to DM me your email address, I'd be happy to follow up with you directly on it once we find out. I imagine that it's before fees because that donation was still made in its entirety, but we will find out. Check. Okay, I want to give people time to type if they're still thinking over any questions. Dawn, do you think there's anything worth going over again in your experience? Anything that causes a particular pain point or area of confusion that we should look at again?
I don't think so, but I will mention, I know you put your info at email in the chat box, and then we have this support email, just to kind of make it easier for people to separate and not send, a ton of questions to Emily. I would say, if you have a platform-based question or a technical question, definitely email support@mightycause.com. That's where they'll be able to help you on the platform. Obviously, Emily is well-versed on the platform, but we don't want to crowd her inbox with those questions. And then for Emily, you would send more of these event-based questions, maybe eligibility questions, those kinds of things. So just want to make sure we don't have too many emails going to Emily because our support email there's for a reason.
You hit the nail on the head. I'm happy to answer general questions about the Giving Day, questions that are very specific to your organization about eligibility, particularly if you're like, I'm here, but I'm doing work elsewhere. That'll be me. Otherwise, Mightycause support is going to be able to get back to you a lot faster. If you email me with a question specific to the platform, I will probably just forward that along to the wonderful support team. We're doing that so that we can get back to you faster, basically. They're a team of, how many people do you have on support? Like 5 or 6?
Support team, I think we have 7 now, so we're up to quite a few.
So 7 people or 1, trust me, you want support. Annie is asking, we are somewhat new to Give STL Day. Welcome. Hello. We're happy to have you. Do you utilize matching dollars that are secured prior to May 9th to use as a match on event day? So I want to make one clarifying question here. The Community Foundation does not provide a match for any organization participating in Give STL Day. None of our prizes are match dollars, and we do not secure matches for individual organizations. However, you are welcome to do so. If you're able to secure a match, I think that that is one of the most powerful things that you can do as part of your Give STL Day strategy. For anybody who's not sure what a match is, for example, this would be You have a donor who says, if you raise $1,000, I'll give you $1,000. So you're effectively doubling that money. Instead of $1,000, you get 2,000. And that's a great message because it's, double your dollar, 2 for 1, help us raise, twice the amount. But that is up to you to secure that. And that is something that you are able to enter on your dashboard. I think it's under, is it under settings?
It's under fundraising tools.
Fundraising tools, and then
And
matching gifts. And it's that's super intuitive, really easy to go ahead and add your match on there if you're able to secure one. And one quick tip, if you have a donor who does typically give your organization, any amount of money regularly, ask them to be your match. Ask multiple donors to come together on a match pool. You don't have to go find some big name for-profit corporation to give you thousands of dollars. Your match can be any amount and it can come from any number of people.
Mhm.
I feel very passionately about matching gifts.
I
But
agree.
unfortunately, there's just too many organizations for the Community Foundation to secure a match for everybody.
Mhm.
Does an offline match count towards your total? You want to take that one, Grace?
Sure. So we have, in the next webinar, we will cover this more. We're going to show you how to use the matching grants tool. Again, the support articles are very helpful if you want to get started now. As far as an offline match, you can upload offline gifts. They will not count towards certain metrics on the website, which we'll go over again next webinar. We'll get more in depth with this, but you would be able to upload an offline match as an offline gift as on the day if you would like. However, we will recommend, of course, to use the match tool because it updates live and gives the donor that match experience as well. So we'll show how to enter that into the system. And the match can be offline when you use the matching grants tool.
And Grace, they wouldn't want to do both, right? If you had a match of $1,000, you would not want to enter it as your match and as an offline donation.
That's
right? Because
correct.
then it
Yes,
would
you would
count
want to enter it as the
twice.
match itself.
But even if your match, like let's say tomorrow, somebody agrees to be your match and they go ahead and send a check to your organization, that's an offline gift, right? That didn't happen through the platform. That's totally fine to enter that as your match. And for those of you who have been with us in previous years, previously we did not allow entry of offline donations. That is a new feature on the Mightycause platform that is there for you to use if you want. Those offline donations, you can set if you want them to count towards your total raised for the day or not. They don't play into prizes. They don't really play into the leaderboards. It's kind of just more for your record keeping, but that is a brand new option to be able to add those offline donations. I see a couple people are messaging me that they have to hop off. All good. Thank you so much for your time. We really are just here in case anybody else has questions. Wait a few minutes for any more of those to come through. Again, I'm available for general platform questions. Support is there to help you for anything that's more specific. Registration just opened today. You have until May 2nd, so that's 3 months to get this done. And hopefully you'll find that it's a much smoother process, much easier, much faster this year since Mightycause is synced directly into the IRS tax exempt organization database, which we are so happy about. The webinar for fundraising and matching is on March 21st. I think it's called Mightycause Fundraising Features on the website. And of course, that one is going to be recorded as well and made available to you. Yes, Andrew, the recording is going to be made available and linked on the Give STL Day website. You're welcome. You're welcome. The other thing that I wanted to point out, and I'm trying to find the right link here to send to all of you, is in addition to the Mightycause support library and webinar library, which is an awesome, awesome resource to you, we have some additional Give STL Day specific resources available on Dropbox. And sorry, I'm trying to get this link, but since I'm logged in, it's being weird. Let me just make sure that you'll all be able to open this. And here we go. Yes, I'm going to put that link to Dropbox in the chat now. That is linked on the resources and FAQ page for nonprofits on our website. This includes Give STL Day specific information. So we have communications resources for you, like suggested timeline, a board commitment letter. We have board engagement resources. And then there is actually a resource specifically on event goals and matching grants. So if you're not sure what a matching grant is, you're not familiar, please pop in there. It explains what a matching grant is, how you might go about securing funds, what happens if you don't meet your match. So that's hopefully going to be a really helpful resource to anybody who's thinking about trying to find one. And then, of course, that folder also includes logos, graphics, lots of other good stuff. All right. Well, I think if there's no more questions, we can go ahead and wrap up a little bit early. Thank you so much, Grace, for presenting this today. I know it was really helpful for me. I hope everybody here found it helpful. Again, if you have more questions, contact me or contact Mightycause support. This training, again, is going to be recorded and linked to on the Give STL Day trainings page, as well as a PDF of the PowerPoint. Grace, anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that covers it. I just want to say thank you everyone for your time this morning and your willingness to join us and listen to all of the different steps. Hopefully this is an easy process for everyone, and we look forward to having you on March 21st.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Emily, I'm going to give you a minute to pull anything from the chat you want, and then just let me know when you're ready for me to close out.
Thank you. Yes, I did just grab
I saw an email pop
an
up.
email address. Yes,
Okay.
to follow up on the net or not. Thanks for all the feedback, everybody. Glad you found this helpful. All right, I think I have everything I need, Grace. So I'm sure we'll be talking, but this was super helpful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye.